Bob Ramsey, and I want to share with you a big idea. Leaders need to convince their teammates of two things. First, that they are committed to the team and they want good things for the team members. Second, that they can achieve the things they set out to accomplish. We call these two elements warmth and competence. And when I coach leaders, these are the two things they most want to improve. But here's what people usually don't realize. These two elements, although they're equally important, they operate in very different ways. Simply put, when people assess your competence, they look for the positive. But when they assess your warmth, they look for the negative. Here's an example. Imagine an absent-minded professor. In the morning, he wakes up late, he puts his pants on backwards, and then he forgets to tie his shoes. But then he works hard at one thing and is awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics. What do we call this person? We call him brilliant. We overlook his negatives and focus on the one positive. We allow that one positive to define him. That's called confirming evidence, and that's how we evaluate competence. Now let's look at warmth. Imagine a man who lives a normal life. Every week he goes to the library, he goes to the grocery store, and he doesn't bother anybody. But then one day he murders his neighbor in cold blood. What would you call that person? You would probably call him a murderer. Notice what's happening here. He didn't murder everybody. He didn't murder his librarian or his grocer. He only murdered one person. And that's enough for us to call him a murderer. We overlook the positive and focus on the one negative. And on that basis, we evaluate him as a murderer. That's the law of disconfirming evidence. When it comes to warmth, we look for the negative. We can see this happening in marriage. Imagine a man who's been married for 10 years and has told his wife that he loves her thousands of times. But then during a fight, he accidentally says, "I want a divorce." How many times does he have to say that to send shockwaves down her spine? Just once. He's not protected by his thousands of I love yous. Without knowing it, without even choosing it, she overlooks the positive and focuses on the one negative. That's the law of disconfirming evidence. What about team leadership? Research shows that people are more productive when they feel like valuable members of the team. So it's in the leader's best interest to project high warmth. But when tensions rise, it's common for leaders to say things that might send the opposite message. For example, they say things like, "I've never trusted you. People like you always make those mistakes. You're close to being off the team. I'm not trying to make friends here, I'm just trying to do my job. You're not a good fit," or "Go back to the marketing department where you belong." You might not think much of these phrases because you say thousands of things every day, most of which are positive. But remember the law of disconfirming evidence. Your people assess warmth on the basis of negatives. So any negatives you say will have an oversized influence. And when your warmth is low, their performance drops. And that's a very expensive problem to have. Okay, here are two quick tips. First, create a do not say list. Write down all those things that you're tempted to say that decrease warmth, and then resolve never to say those phrases again. The second tip is to create a warmth plan. The reality is that we've all projected low warmth in the past. So we need to manage that and make it right. So write down a list of 12 things you can do to show people that you consider them to be part of the team. And then consistently do one thing every month for a full year. That should help start sending a new message about your warmth. When I have time to coach people one-on-one, I discuss techniques for accelerating the results of your warmth plan and how to hold people accountable without damaging your warmth. And I would love to share these ideas with you at another time. I hope this has been valuable to you, and when you're leading others, always remember the law of disconfirming evidence. I'm Bob Ramsey. Good luck.